Hello and welcome to the channel. I'm Dr. Claire Lynch of the Doris and Bertie Writing School, and I'm on a mission to help you become a better, more confident writer. And today I want to look at a feature of English that international speakers of English always have trouble with: uncountable nouns, or as they're also known, mass nouns. So what is an uncountable or mass noun? Well, an uncountable noun is a noun that's a thing word that doesn't have a plural. For instance, the word apple is countable, so we can say I had 2 apples for lunch. But the word rice isn't countable, so we can't say I had 3 rices for dinner. An uncountable noun then is always a singular noun. We can't simply put an S after rice and make it plural. And because uncountable nouns are singular, they take a singular verb or doing word. For instance, your apples look nice, that's countable. Your rice looks nice, that's uncountable. We also can't use the indefinite article a or an with uncountable nouns. For example, you can't say, I had a rice for lunch. Now, we can't pluralize an uncountable noun, but we can use words that suggest an amount of something, such as some, any, much, or little. For example, do you have any rice? I have some rice. I haven't got much rice. I do have a little rice. Another way we can get around the problem of not being able to count these types of nouns or thing words is to refer to an aspect of them that is countable. For instance, we can say, I ate 3 spoonfuls of rice for lunch. I found 6 grains of rice on the floor. I made a bowl of rice for dinner. I bought 2 different types of rice from the shop. Did you notice that all those examples used the phrase of rice? In grammar speak, they're called partitive phrases because they're describing a part of a whole. But let's call them of phrases. So let's take a look at some other uncountable nouns, specifically the uncountable nouns I see used incorrectly most frequently by my international students. So first up, advice. I hear it a lot, but strictly speaking, you can't say, thank you for the advices, or can you give me an advice? Instead, you should say, thank you for your advice, or can you give me some advice? Or you could use one of those partitive of phrases. I gave him a piece of advice. She added a whole page of advice. Another word my students often incorrectly pluralize is feedback. So you can't, strictly speaking, say, she gave me some good feedbacks, or can you give me a feedback? Instead, you should say, she gave me a bit of feedback, or can you give me some feedback? Other common uncountable nouns my students often use incorrectly include evidence. It should be a piece of evidence, not evidences. Research, again, a piece of research, not researches. Training, so some training, not trainings. Jargon, a piece of jargon, not jargons. Homework, it might be a batch or pile or lots of homework or some homework, but definitely not homeworks. Information, again, a piece of information or some information, but not informations. And there are others. Now, if you found this lecture interesting, you may also be interested to know that I'm actually planning a full, in-depth course where I'm going to be really digging into all the trickiest points of grammar and English writing that I see my students struggling with. So not just uncountable nouns, but also things like articles and prepositions. And the course is going to be packed with cheat sheets, exercises, and more to really elevate advanced students writing in English. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in hearing more about and signing up for, do head over to my website dorisandbertie.com and sign up to receive my newsletter so you're the first to hear about that new course. But anyway, for the time being, that's uncountable nouns, and now you know what they are and how they work. That knowledge is going to give you the ability to use the words fewer and less appropriately. So which should you use, and what's the difference between fewer and less? That's a question even people whose first language is English struggle to answer. And that is going to be the subject of my next video. So do stay tuned for that one in a fortnight's time. And in the meantime, if you like this video, be sure to hit that subscribe button and share it with your colleagues and friends.